Okay guys, so this is 12.1 probability. That's your standard, and your objective is to be able to describe the likelihood of an event happening. Again, always with 30% or high accuracy given the independent practice. A few vocabulary words here. Experiment is an activity involving a chance in which results are observed. So again, you're doing some kind of thing and seeing what results you're gonna get from doing that. Trial is every time that you observe the experiment happening. So you will have to do like 2 times or 3 times, and that will be your trials. Those will be your trials. The outcome is basically the result of each trial. So like for instance, if you're rolling a dice, every time you roll a dice, it's gonna be a trial. And for instance, every time you get a number out of those trials, that's gonna be your outcome. So for instance, if you get 2, that's gonna be an outcome. If you get 3, it's gonna be an outcome. An event is a set of 1 or more outcomes. So again, what you're shooting for. So for instance, if you want to see how many times out of 10 trials when you roll a dice, you're gonna get 2. The 2 is the outcome that you're looking for, so that will be your event. And then probability, represented like this, measures the likelihood that that event, for instance, getting a 2 when you roll the dice, is going to happen. Okay, and so we have kind of like a diagram showing us the likelihood of something happening. So if it's impossible, it's going to be 0, right? It's 0%. So that's impossible. It's never going to happen. Okay. For instance, if I say what's the probability of getting a 7 when you roll it 6-faced dice, and you're going to say impossible. It only has 6, so they don't have the number 7 on the dice. So that's going to be 0% or 0. Okay. If it's half of it, so for instance, if you have a coin and you have the heads and the tails, and I flip it. And so the probability of getting heads is going to be 50% because there's only 2 faces, right? So that's as likely as not. Half of the probability, 50%, and we write that as a decimal, is just 0.5 or 5/10. Okay, anything between 0 and half is going to be unlikely. Okay, and then for instance, if I have a bag, this one for instance, if I have a bag with just red marbles, and I say what's the probability to get in a red marble if I put my fingers in there and grab one? 100%, because there's only red marbles, right? So that's certain that you're gonna get a red marble. 1, decimal is 1.0. Fraction is just 1/1, so that's how we get just 1, and then it's 100%. Anything between half and 1 is gonna be likely. Okay, so let me go ahead and do this one, give you some to do, and then come back over here. So for instance, if I say and we have these numbers right here, and those are the probabilities in decimal or fractions or percentages. I want to see where that's gonna fall. Okay, so 3/10 is gonna be right here, so it's gonna be unlikely. 78% is between 50% and 100%. This is going to be likely. 1/4 is between this 2 right here, so again, it's going to be unlikely. 0% is impossible. No, it's not happening at all. And 1 is certain. It's 100%. Okay, let me give you a few to do on this one. Okay, go ahead and tell me for this one, what's the possibility? The probability of getting, what is the probability? Okay, impossible, unlikely, as likely as not unlikely, or certain. Okay, then we have 2 more vocabulary words. Sample space is a set of all possible outcomes measured for an event. So for instance, right here, if I say, okay, what's the probability of getting 1, 2, or 3, right? Any number 3 or less on a dice. That will be all the possible outcomes, right? So getting either 1, 2, or 3. A complement will be, okay, from rolling my dice, I also have the possibility of getting 4, 5, or 6. So those will be the complements, right? Because right here I'm saying, okay, anything less than or equal to 3 on the dice, and so the dice has 6 faces, so therefore you can get 0, 4, 5, 6. So this one, the complement will be getting 5, 4, 5, and a 6. Okay, so when you add all of them together, then you can add up the number of trials. So this one says probability of an event. So let me go ahead and go over here, and then I'll come back over here. So for instance, if I say, probability of getting a number equal or less than 2 on a dice. Okay, think about the dice. Okay, it has 6 faces and it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So there's only 2 times that I can get 2 or less is 1 and 2, and that's 2 out of 6, right? So number of times that event is going to occur, okay, so 2, and then out of 6 faces, okay? And so that will be 1/3 if I simplify. So that will be the sample space, okay? So this will be the probability for this part. But then what's the complement, okay? So the complement is, okay, out of those times, how many could this not happen? So meaning, the dice has 3, 4, 5, 6, so that's 4, okay, out of 6, so that's 2/3, okay? So this right here will be the complement because this is not the event happening, okay? So when I add them together, 1/3 plus 2/3 equals 1, and that's what this one says. The probability of an event plus the probability of a complement equals 1. So again, when you add them together, you end up with the whole number of tries that you did it, okay? So let me go ahead and give you one of these to do. Back here and show you this one first, and then I'll go ahead and give you one of these to do. So probability of an event, again, we write it like this, and it's basically the number of times that the event is happening out of the total number of equally likely possible outcomes. Again, if I were to roll the dice and I want to use numbers, I want number 6, right? That's gonna be my event that I want. So the event is to get number 6 on the dice, and so think about it. The dice has 6 faces, right? So the total number of equally likely possible outcomes will be 6 because it has 6 faces. But how many times is 6 on the dice? Only 1 time, so it's going to be 1 out of 6. Okay? Let me go ahead and give you one to do. Okay, so we have a bag with marbles. We have 5 pink marbles, and we have 3 green marbles. Okay? Go ahead and give me the possibility of getting green marbles. A green marble if I were to put my hand in there and grab a marble. Okay, remember the event is a green marbles, okay? So how many possible times can that be? How many green marbles you have over the total number of marbles, right? So it's gonna be, again, what's the probability of me getting a green marble out of the bag if I have 5 pink marbles and 3 green marbles? Okay, and so now give me the complement, okay? What's the complement? Meaning, how many times is it possible for me not to get a green marble? Okay? Alrighty. God bless you. Bye.